Mr. Miguel, this is Damon from Black Warrior Lures. You asked me about your reels. I'm working on them. I want to show you something. It takes me a long time to make these reels, a very long time. It's it's about 6, maybe 7 a.m. here in Alabama. And I've been working basically since sunup. And so if I called you right now, it'd be like 5 o'clock your time, right? So I don't want to do that. Let me show you your reels. You may not be able to see it, and I can't move it because the halves have just been mated together. But you see that order number, 12740? I believe that's your order number. That's one of your reels. It's cherry. I've chosen cherry for yours. See here? 12740. They've not been mated yet. I've chosen cherry for your reels because the wood that I had was cracking severely. Look. You see that? See the crack? That crack is absolutely no good. I mean, you can't. I can't give you that one. It would. Let me show you. Deep, almost to the point where the halves have been mated together. You may not be able to see that, but that crack is so deep. I can't give you that one. I mean, you would get a really junky, ugly reel, and it would look so bad. And I don't want your dad to have any bad reels. So I said, well, what am I going to do? Well, that piece of wood is just no good. So I said, I'm going to get some of my cherry stock, which is a better grade of wood than the pine. Usually when I have a reel like that turns out badly, I just will finish that reel eventually at some point and just keep it for myself. Oh, let me show you. There's something else here. I got wood here. Old pieces of wood here. This is the last of the cypress. See that bad crack there? You may not be able to see it, but it's a crack similar to the one we saw the other one. But I may be able to use it if I had a finished reel. A finished reel I soak with epoxy and wood flour, and it'll never move and change. For instance, this reel here is a pine reel, just like the one you saw outside that was cracked. And right here, you see that? That was a crack. That was a crack in the wood, and I had to fill it with epoxy and putty and wood. And this is the reel that you see me fishing with on the YouTube channel all the time, and it's a defective reel, quote unquote. It's not defective, it's just I didn't want to sell it to the customer, and I needed to know how that wood would move and change over time. You see, I work slowly. I don't work fast. When you buy a reel from me, it's like buying a custom fly rod from a custom bamboo fly rod maker. They got to go out, chop down the bamboo, dry it, okay, and then once it's dry, then they cut it, then they can shape it, then they can bind it together, then they can build the rod. I'm doing something similar. I actually have to go down to Utah, Alabama to a guy, talk to the guy at Grimes Hardwood who's actually going to chop down the tree, mill it in his custom mill to get a plank of wood like this. This is ash, haven't used it yet, that I can then chop and cut to make into the halves here that are then mated together, and assuming the wood doesn't move, it doesn't crack, it doesn't do any of those things that we just talked about, then I can put it here on the lathe and start turning it. And so I gotta turn them here. This one is, this blank is, I'm not gonna be able to really sell it to anybody like I told you. And so I gotta finish this one first. And see, so I'm turning it and shaping it, and but once I turn it and shape it, it's only then that I'll know if I have a reel that's fit to ship out to you. I don't know how long it's going to take me to make the reel. I just don't know. I tell people it takes 3 weeks. Sometimes it takes a month. I'm currently working on 5 reels. This is one customer's reel here. You see the order number there? It's just been mated. This is yours. This is yours. And so, yeah, so we gotta do this one. So I'll show you how I mate those. I'll show you how I mate these together. All right, gloves. Got our cups here. So now, can you see what I'm doing here? I'm hoping you can see all this. Again, see, where did I write it down? Yeah, see your order number. That's your order number. So I have to take these halves. That's mating up pretty well there. You see there's not much of a gap there. So I'll take that, turn it like so. You got that rough edge there, that won't matter. Once we get it into the vise and it's mated, it won't matter. So you take these cups here, and I have to put the epoxy. This is the Boat Builder's epoxy that I use. I use Boat Builder's epoxy because, sorry, here I gotta look closer. My eyes are getting old. Because that's the strongest bond. I used to use wood glue, waterproof wood glue, but it's not very strong. It just doesn't last. This is just waterproof. You could cross, this is the same Boat Builder's epoxy that people use to cross the Atlantic Ocean or something. And so, whenever you buy something from Amazon or eBay or something like that, there's literally 10,000 of whatever you bought sitting in a warehouse, and there's somebody who, when you place an order, they just go take it off the shelf and ship it to you. And that's not like this. Again, I have to go talk to the guy who's going to chop the tree down first. Get the wood in stock. Then I got to get him to shape it. Then I got to get him to mill that wood. And sometimes I have to end up sometimes finishing the planking process myself. He can mill it to a certain point, but then sometimes I have to do it. It just depends on how much wood he has and all that. And then, only then, now see, all right, you say, well, it doesn't seem to take that much time. Well, your order is not number 1 in line. And I work in batches. I have batches of orders. So yours is in the current batch. This is about 5 reels that I have to make. 4 orders, 5 bills. And yours is number 4 in line. Okay. Okay. So you see we've gotten that, right? So there, and from there, I find this is the fastest way to do this part. Just put some wood flour right there and just start mixing it in. This is the fastest way I found to do this part with the least amount of wastage. So it's almost like flour making bread or something, except it's wood flour. Now, I don't have to make the wood flour. Again, I can just go talk to the same people who make the epoxy. My hands are full of stuff. I can't really touch the camera. The epoxy, they make the wood flour. So let me finish this. Let me, well, I'll just show you the whole process. At least mating the halves together. So it takes another, I don't know, that's 6 grams of epoxy there, putty. And I'm not sure if you said you were buying these for your dad, and so you can show him this video and let him see what's going on. If I'm assuming it's not for like a birthday party or something. So it doesn't take long to mix that up. And then I just pour it in there some more. It's kind of messy right now, but you know, trust me, it'll work out. Oh, come on now. Probably gonna get some more. That's about, I don't know, 50% more maybe. And do the same thing. That's to ensure that there's an even amount of epoxy putty on both halves. Busy street, lots of trucks. Lots of trucks. So, we just keep doing that. I think they lost something, poor people. So now, kind of start working it here with the little spatula. Almost like kneading dough. It's definitely too dry now. So too wet, right? So, but that should be about enough. I need about another little bit of epoxy here. Another 3 grams should be plenty. Okay, all right. Another 3 grams. Doesn't take long to mix. You say this is boring, right? Well, hey, if you want your reels, this is what it's going to take. Because that was a little bit too dry, and we may need a little bit more. Oh, that might be enough. Let's see. Start spreading. Yeah, it's still too thick. A little bit too thick, I think. Just like making biscuits or cornbread or something. I'm sure you're... there we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's it. It should be about like peanut butter. And so... yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, that's perfect. I like the way that's turning out. Happy little tree. I feel like Bob Ross. Happy little tree. The guy dude with the fro did all the paintings and stuff. Okay, that's good. I actually like that. I like the way that looks. So now we mate the halves together. We coat the both halves with epoxy first so that it will soak into the wood. If I were to do this step first, all the epoxy would soak into the wood flour and it would starve the joint, and you would end up, if you ever dropped it, it would just split apart. But this, because it soaked into the wood a few millimeters, maybe a millimeter or two, now you mate those halves together. Then we just weigh it down like so. Weigh this one down like so. And then let me show you. You see this brick here? Brick. And weigh that one down. Now those are the high capacity reels. I have these reels. You see this order number. That's for a customer. Oh, there it is right there. See, sorry. Right there. See how subtle that was? There's an order number there. Order number there. Order number here. And this one, it was the last piece off that cherry plank that the guy chopped down that no one has ordered that yet. So that'll just stay there. And these, once I finish turning this one, I'll be turning these two, mailing them out, and then once that cures, it's going to take about 2 days for that to cure. Usually 2 to 3 days just for that to cure. And then we're just hoping that it cures perfectly. And we're just hoping that it, once I get it here into the vise, that it's going to turn well. And we're just hoping that there's no hidden knots or flaws in the wood. I'm just hoping that it, right? Right? See, I have no control over when the product is actually going to ship outside of giving you a general time frame of about 3 weeks to a month. And it used to take me a lot longer, but then we moved into the new house. I got a little better turning tools, have a little bit more space, and I can just generally, instead of taking 3 to 4 months to turn these reels, it takes me 3 to 4 weeks. And you ordered on the 19th, and you emailed me on the 21st, which I emailed you back, and now this is the 1st. That's about a week and a half, so it's about half the time. I mean, you're ahead of schedule. The reels are ahead of schedule. But you know, earlier this week, I tweaked my back again. I have a bad back. I tweaked it, and so I just couldn't get out here and lift this wood and do all kinds of stuff because I had to rest my back. And so I'm just now kind of getting back to that. I don't want to use that as an excuse, but it does play a factor. And as a child of God, through Jesus Christ, who died on a tree, I'm not scamming you. I don't scam people. Because people are made in the image of God, and to scam you means to scam God himself. And that's not something I'm going to do. So it's going to take time for me to finish making your reels. Your reels, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, yours are number 4 in line. It wouldn't be fair to the person that where I was talking about that one where the blank didn't turn out well. It wouldn't be fair for me to put you in front of them. It wouldn't be fair to them. So I'm going to finish that blank out. Then I'll work on that guy's. And then you got the 2 other people that had single reels. And by the time I turn those single reels, your reels will have finished curing. Then I can immediately start turning yours. And I hope that, I hate to give a hard date because I don't know what else is going to happen. I just can't. I don't know. I'm just assuming that the reels are going to turn out well, and I can't make those assumptions and give you a promised date because I don't operate like Amazon or eBay or any of those big box places. It's just not how I operate. So I do apologize for the length of time because it does take me a long time to make these, and I work slowly because I work thoroughly. I just will not put out a crappy product. I'm just not going to do it. And so let me know if that works for you. If not, then we maybe can work out something else. If you want a refund, just say I want a refund. I can give you your money back, even though I've already started on the reels. I'm perfectly happy. And so, well, I mean, I've got work to do. So I'll see you later.